Welcome to One Quick Question with Infomedia, your source for answers to your questions about websites, digital marketing, and more. I'm your host, Carrie Rollwagon, and today we're here with Pam Sanderson. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Can you tell people what's your title and what do you do here at Infomedia?
My title is Director of Account Development, and what I do here is I work with our existing clients to ensure that they understand everything that we do, that they get the best service, and whatever goals they set for their website and for their company, that we're coming alongside them and helping them achieve them.
Awesome, and you do it very well.
Thank you.
So here's a question I think you're actually getting a lot over the past few months, and it is GA4 going to cost me money?
I do get this question a lot. I feel like GA4 has started to take over my life. It is not going to cost you money.
Well, wait. Before we get into that, okay, let's just cut there because I actually feel like if we're not gonna be spending money, we don't care about the rest of the podcast. Right? I'm just kidding. Not really, but tell people quickly, like, what is GA4? What are we talking about?
Gotcha. So GA4 it's the next iteration of Google Analytics. So people have been using Google Analytics for years and years now, and what you're using is called Universal Analytics. Well, Universal Analytics is being sunset this year in July, and the next iteration of that is going to be called GA4. And the biggest difference, the thing that stands out first, is that GA4 is event-based, whereas Google Universal is session-based. And I get a lot of questions, why is Google doing this? There's probably a lot of reasons. Some they are making us privy to, others they're not. But I think one of the biggest is Google's had a push to address people's privacy concerns. Mm-hmm. And so with GA4, they're going to be able to do that. And I think one of the other reasons is Google is updating their model of how they serve people. And this falls more in line with the model that we're seeing with the other services that Google puts out there, where things are a bit more throttled back.
All right. So I guess, is there a quick way to explain, like, event versus session? Like, what's the difference? Why is this one focusing on one instead of the other?
Right. So session is like an active period of time on a website. Event-based is you actually did something on the website. Like, so you did this event, you click this button, you went on this page, whatever that may be. So in the way that they track the data, instead of it all being tied around this active period of time you spent on the site, it's tied around an actual action that you did on the site. Okay. And so it's kind of difficult to explain without showing the data, but it does make the data sets quite a bit different. The things that you see currently in Universal, you're not going to be able to track those the exact same in GA4. Things are going to be a little bit different. But in other ways, things are also better. I still think Google's going to be adding a lot of features to GA4. I don't really think they're done with it. I think this is just the beginning. But I do think that it's going to be interesting to see how GA4 takes us into the future of data analytics for your website.
Okay, so you said that this is not going to cost us money.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully everybody stopped listening. I'm just kidding. Why do people think it's going to cost money?
Because it's new. Because analytics has been free, and Google has not been shy about taking free services and starting to charge for them. So I should maybe put a caveat that it's not going to cost you money right now.
Yeah.
Creating a GA4 profile on your analytics account is currently free. I don't think that will change. I do think that Google, they've not said this. This is just my personal opinion. It would make sense for me if there becomes a version of tracking down the road that Google starts to charge for. Mm-hmm. I do think there's going to be some possibilities there. But for right now, it's totally free. But there's been other services like Google's mapping systems and, well, there's quite a lot, email even, that for a long time it was free. And then they went to, you got a couple free, but then you had to pay for everything, and now you got to pay for everything. So It's possible that analytics is going to go more into that model as well.
So so it doesn't cost money to set up, but is it just as easy to use on the user end as Universal was? And easy to use is kind of not the right term because Universal isn't that easy either. But do you need to hire somebody to learn how to read it is what I'm trying to say.
Not necessarily, no. If you're an Infomedia client, we'll teach you how to read it. We'll walk through the reports with you. It is very different from Universal. So if you're used to Universal, it is a bit jarring the first time that you log into it. It's very different, but once you play around with it a little bit, it's not difficult to start reading it. If you're interested in learning more, and maybe you're not an Infomedia client, Google actually has on their skill, it's called Skill Shop, I think, or Skill something. But if you look it up, Google GA4 classes, there's a free version where you can learn about GA4 through Google. That's actually, I've taken the class, a couple people here have. It's very simple, but it kind of walks you through, gives you a good understanding of what GA4 is and the differences between the two.
Okay, awesome. So what should somebody do? Like, say if you're running your own website and you don't know, like, do I have GA4? Will it just convert? It won't do that, right? They're two totally different things.
Well, it will actually.
Oh,
so,
okay.
I think this week or last week they actually updated it. So for over a year, almost a year, they've been saying, hey, this is coming. GA4 is coming. Universal will stop tracking in July. But they recently updated that message to say, hey, this is still happening, but if you don't set up your own GA4 account by March, we're going to do it for you.
Okay.
We're going to create a GA4 profile for you, and we're going to just set it up the best we can based on what you were tracking before. So it is possible that Google would just set it up for you. You will need to go in there and look around, see it, and go ahead and get used to it, start learning how it works, because if you don't, once Universal stops tracking, you're going to have to figure it out really quickly because you're not going to be able to see your data if you're actively looking into your analytics.
Okay. But it's not like if you don't set up analytics on your site at all, then it's not tracking anything.
Correct.
So that's always a problem. We tell people, even if you're not using it, go ahead and set it up.
Absolutely.
And so this is kind of like, it's not exactly that way. Like if you for some reason went on a vacation for 3 months, that would be great.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say like I don't know, a quest.
A quest.
Yeah, a quest. Yeah, if you
went on a quest.
If you went on a quest, yes.
And you didn't have internet to the access to the internet.
Yes.
Which you rarely do during quests, from what I know.
Yeah. You're off-grid. Quests are mostly off-grid. That's true. Yeah. There's more swords than there are internet access points. Yeah.
And then you go back and you're like, what has been going on with my website while I've been gone? If you had Universal up, it will convert. It just is going to maybe look a little bit wonky because it won't be the things that you were used to will look totally different. And maybe, is it correct that maybe some things you had set up, you're going to have to set up a different way?
Correct.
Maybe try to tell the same story with slightly different data.
Correct. Because if you had things, again, that were session-based tracking, those things are going to be a little different now. So you may have to set things up a different way. But if you just had basic out-of-the-box analytics running and you just want to make sure that's running, you're going to be fine.
Okay.
If you had a really custom setup and different events firing and all sorts of things happening, you're going to want to check on that, make sure everything is tracking the way you want it to, and maybe you need to set up different tracking, again, to tell the same story.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things that I highly recommend action now. Don't wait. Go ahead. It's very easy to create your profile for GA4. It walks you through step by step. Go ahead and do it if you haven't done it. Start playing around with it. If it seems like very, oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm doing, I highly recommend that Google class. If you're an Infomedia client, you can reach out to us and we'll walk through it with you. But go ahead and get familiar with it. Don't wait till the deadline.
Yeah. Well, awesome. And then if somebody wants to take it a step further, they can call Infomedia.
Absolutely, they can.
All right. Well, thank you, Pam.
You're welcome.
One Quick Question is brought to you by Infomedia. Find show notes, including links to what we talk about on the podcast today at infomedia.com/quickquestion. Our producer is Elena Harmond. Our theme music is by Brad Davis. And our episodes are produced by Paul and Aaron at Infomedia Studios. If you need website support, marketing advice, or you're interested in building a new website, give us a call at 205-823-4440 or email quickquestion@infomedia.com.